Let's take a look at this health and beauty marketplace making $1,583 per month in profit and recently listed for sale or listed for auction at a starting bid price of $31,545 with a reserve price of $42,060. I'm going to go through this listing here and pick out some of the key details and things I like about this business, along with the factors that matter in considering the valuation of this business as an acquirer, and some of the things you might want to consider or flesh out before making an offer, along with sharing my quick take on the business's valuation. Now, first thing first, I have to say this business is on the smaller side of businesses, if you'd even call it that, that I would look at. I generally focus on more established, larger, more profitable, time-tested businesses. But I think this one is pretty interesting, and I do have interest in what I consider small growth opportunities or very small online businesses where they've established product market fit, they've got the fire kind of burning, they've got a little flame, and as an acquirer, you could step in and really grow the business pretty quickly if you have the right skill set and the right motivation to do so, because as an online business, it is highly scalable. On the flip side, I have owned, operated, acquired, and sold offline businesses, particularly in the home services space. And with those, I don't have an interest in really small ones because they lack scale. And when you buy a small one, you don't have that operational infrastructure that you need to scale. That is not the case with these online businesses. Hence, I do have some interest in them. So let's talk about this one here. What is interesting is they give us the actual website. So I've opened it up, but I did not take a look at it, and I did not scroll any further down this page. It is 25care.com. It was built for fast, on-demand care and home services. We're selling the domain. Let me highlight that. We're selling the domain plus website support. It might be a good fit for you if you want a modern BR. I don't know what that means. 76% margin. We see some numbers down there. Let's see if they tell us anything more about it. It has strategically positioned itself as a premier platform connecting service providers with consumers seeking wellness solutions. Operating since 2022, the company has embraced a service subscription model to generate consistent revenue, allowing service providers to pay a recurring fee to showcase their skills and reach a broader clientele. The marketplace utilizes digital marketing to attract both providers and customers, employing targeted ads and email campaigns to maintain a dynamic online presence, ensuring high service standards. The platform implements a strict vetting process for providers and incorporates a review system to build consumer trust. The platform caters to a diverse audience interested in holistic health and beauty, offering user-friendly navigation for various services ranging from skincare to fitness regimens. It targets urban consumers seeking convenience and suburban professionals looking for specialized services, aligning its offerings with market demands. The marketplace leverages Google Analytics to optimize user interactions, payment integrations with Stripe. I'm not seeing many other details I care about. Continuously invests in technological innovation. Financially, the business has exhibited growth through its subscription model, which we've heard a couple times, supported by strategic investments. Okay, those are all the details we get here without signing up and taking a further look at it, and probably signing some type of NDA. At first, when I was skimming over this, I'm like, on-demand care and home services. I'm like, that is two very different niches, so I was kind of surprised to see that. But then down here in the details, they kind of tie it all together with the platform caters to a diverse audience interested in holistic health and beauty, and various services ranging from skincare to fitness regimens. Okay, so I feel like it's tied together, the healthcare and home services, but I'm not exactly sure how yet. I like that it's a subscription model. It's been around since 2022, so it's kind of showing a little bit of proof of concept, but the revenue and profitability on it is quite low. Seems like their system is built out well with a review system and the vetting process here. They've thought it out a little bit. Let's head on over to their website and take a further look at the business. Okay. All right, so right here up at the top, they say Uber for Care is currently paused and available for sale with developer support. Okay, so it's paused. Does that mean they stopped their revenue? I don't really know what's going on. Locations. These look like locations in Illinois. In services, okay. Caregiving, childcare, house cleaning, pet care, live-in care, youth sport coach. Very diverse, and I'm not seeing any tie-in to holistic. It just kind of seems like a marketplace. Again, you can do the location. Yeah, okay. How do you sign up if you want to become a service provider? I don't see an easy way to sign up here. Oh, maybe the work with us. Here's the About Us page. Let's just see what work request is. Yeah, so you can apply. Let's just see what happens if you're going to click for care. So you get some profiles on here. Yeah, okay. So really what you're buying here is a small marketplace style business where they vet the service providers, and it seems like they run ads to get actual local users and also targeted email. So if you were interested in buying this business, you would really want to understand how they're getting traffic to this website and how they are ultimately driving inquiries or leads to the service providers. And I'm going to assume that the reviews are legitimate on there. Because I don't know if they do fake reviews. I don't know what's going on, but you'd want to make sure that they're real. But yeah, big component of this is how they're getting actual business to these providers, right? Is there actual value in these providers signing up? I would not be interested if, they have not kind of cracked that nut and been able to provide value to the providers on there. That would be step one. Step two is, how are they getting the providers on here as well? So I'd want to see and flesh out that they have some type of provider acquisition model as well. They have providers on there, and they've got the first few or maybe a few dozen. Seems like they cover a fair size area, and they've got people on there. So they've kind of cracked the nut in some way. It seems like they've got a proof of concept. They've got proof of concept, and they've got, actual providers on the website that they can use to show other providers, like, hey, people are joining this and using it. So we can tell that, but we can't tell exactly how they are sending business to these providers, if they even are. Are they just selling something that's almost like a gimmick, where it's like, hey, pay to get listed on our website, but they don't actually really give them any value for what they're paying. It seems like an interesting business, and it seems like a model that could be very very robust and very large. And it seems like they've kind of got the flame going, so to say here. So it's small, but I don't not like it. And getting the providers on there and assuming they are sending the providers valuable leads or valuable business opportunities, it seems like there's something here, and this is worth something. That said, it's important to understand, are they getting value to these subscribers? How can they get more subscribers? Assuming that you as the buyer have that fleshed out, whether that's improving from what the seller was doing, this could be a nice small online business to buy, because it's very hard to get those first few providers and to get the first few users. So what is this business worth? What is my quick take on it here? Well, you've got basically what you're paying for here is proof of concept and the fact that you've actually got a few providers on the website, I'm going to assume, happy with the service and they keep paying for that. That's really what you're buying here. What would it cost to make that happen? You do get the monthly profit, but in this case, I think that it's really a factor of saying, hey, how much time and money would it take to spin this up and get this going? And that number is generally higher than a lot of people would estimate, right? At least in my opinion. Because a lot of people would look at this and go, okay, hey, I could spin this website up. It's not too difficult to pull off a website like this. That's a few $1,000s, and I just got to get a few people signed up. Like, yes, you could do that, but A, it's going to take you a lot of time to get the first few service providers signed up, number one. B, you are most likely going to throw in the towel and quit before you actually get any revenue and profitability out of the business. Whereas this business has made that happen. And I think that could be worth, a fair bit more than the $31,000. That's something you'd have to consider the value of your time. But I do think that it would be much more difficult to spin this up than a lot of people would estimate. But based on the monthly profitability here, assuming that the number has been stable or growing, and they don't give us a trend chart. I think if you sign in, you would get a trend graph, like what they kind of allude to right there. But assuming that the number has been stable and growing for, say, or maybe not even growing, but just stable for the last year, I think it would be fair to look at this and say, hey, this business could be valued based on a multiple of its annual or monthly profit, depending on how you want to basis it out. Let's just say 1583 times 12, that equals our annual profit here at $18,996. I think it's realistic for this small online business to be valued at a 2 to 2.5x multiple, 2 to 2.5 multiple on the last 12 months of profit. So if we go, I said on the last 12 months, but on the future 12 months of profitability. So I'm assigning the business unit a 2.5x valuation or 2 to 2.5x valuation. Multiplying that out by the future profitability, assuming the profitability stays the same, and that would mean that it's in a slight uptrend over the last 12 months, like, maybe gone up 5% or so. Assign a 2.5x multiple to it. I would say on the high side, 47,000 would be on the high side of a fair valuation. We just multiply that by 2, roughly 37,000, or 38,000 would be on the low side of a fair valuation. So there is something here. I think the reserve is in the realm of fair for this, for this seller here. So it's an interesting little business. I kind of like it. I like the model, and if you're interested in acquiring a small growth opportunity because you've got the skills to really kind of blow something up online, and that would be A, the digital marketing skills to bring in a lot of users and drive customers to the actual service providers on there, and B, the business development skills to get the service providers on there. This seems like a fair and decently well valued, depending on how the auction goes, opportunity here. That's my take on it. What do you think about this business listing? Is there anything you feel like I missed out on? If so, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. And on that note, if you found this video helpful or insightful, you know the drill. Smash that like button to help me out in the YouTube algorithm. I am calling it a wrap and signing off on that note.